sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Traffic and weather together on KCBS. KPIX 5 meteorologist Aaron Peck will have a look at your 6-day forecast. Kipney's got Bay Bridge.
Bay Bridge construction. Westbound Bay Bridge slow getting into San Francisco. In fact, they turned the metering lights on. Westbound 80, you're going to see brake lights from the incline clearing up when you get through the tunnel. You'll be funneled over the right lanes. And if you look up or over, you may see a tent or three, and crews will work in those tents doing cable inspection work and doing the light installation for the Bay Lights, which is so cool on the Bay Bridge. I'm excited to have it back. I hope. Golden Gate Bridge looking good too. I am also getting reports of ongoing slow traffic on 580 if you're heading westbound, getting into Castro Valley. It's slow on 80 west. Hercules getting into San Pablo, all due to road work, and road work on the peninsula. Northbound 101 still Palo Alto to Redwood City. Your next update, 8:58 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
All right, we got a nice little warm-up coming our way over the next 3 days. First thing is we've got to scale back the marine layer a little bit. We're not going to be nearly as widespread gray as we were to start the day today. For tomorrow, we'll see a little bit of marine layer right through the immediate Golden Gate and the Central Bay in the morning, and that should be about it. Everybody else starts out with sunshine tomorrow. A couple of degrees warmer tomorrow, but not much. So for our inland valleys, it'll be mid to upper 80s for daytime highs. San Jose will make it right to about 80 tomorrow, and San Francisco will be in the upper 60s. We're going to see temperatures take another 3 to 5 degree jump, though, for Friday and Saturday. That's when we'll be looking at low to mid-90s for daytime highs on those days if you're inland. San Jose's going to the mid-80s. San Francisco is going to be right around 70 for those 2 days. And then we will start to cool things back down by Sunday into early next week. For CBS News Bay Area, I'm meteorologist Aaron Peck. Don't forget, tonight, we've got the Valkyries game on, so there's no local primetime news on Pix Plus.
Thank you, Darren. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Brian McDermott is out at the editor's desk tonight. I'm Lisa Clancy. Transit officials in San Francisco are putting the brakes on a number of so-called traffic calming measures that are used to try to cut down on traffic-related fatalities. For more, KCBS anchor Brett Burkhart spoke with KCBS insider Phil Matier. So why are they doing this now? Why are they not allowing neighbors to report requests for traffic calming projects?
Well, there's a couple of reasons, and one of them is that they're having budget problems. Muni is facing a $327 million deficit, so there's not a lot of money to go around. The second thing is this program just turned out to be too damn popular. It started before Vision Zero, and the city was really went on a crusade to cut down on traffic fatalities, in large part by rearranging, the streets and adding bumps in and speed bumps and the like. But there had been a much smaller program that allowed residents on the street to come in and ask for, speed bumps. And initially they got about 100 a year, and then, bammo, it doubled, and they were starting to get 200, and now they've got a backlog of 300, and what they don't have the money, and they said, look, we can't kid you around. We're going to be able to have the money to do what we have left, and then after that, we're not sure. So rather than, just stall people, we're just going to tap the brakes on it right now and finish up what we've got. But it's a very popular program, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out politically.
What do you suppose, though, was the reason for the explosion of traffic calming requests in the city?
Well, it's coincidental, but it happened right about the time of COVID, when a lot of people were actually spending more and more time at home working and stuff, and looking out their windows and seeing, near misses on the traffic front. That was one reason. The other reason was that people just in general, are going faster. And so we're looking at more people. How many people do you think in the Bay Area, if given a choice of having a speed bump in their neighborhood, would say yes? San Francisco actually had a program. Now, what's interesting on this and on the political front is that in the past 10 years or so, San Francisco spent hundreds of millions of dollars rearranging the streets to try to make them safer, putting guardrails up between bike lanes in the street, banning right-hand turns on red lights, a whole slew of things. And the result has been negligible. As a matter of fact, last year was the worst year we've had in terms of traffic fatalities. There were 42. So Mayor Lurie has suspended the program. He's not renewing Vision Zero. Now they're still going to do traffic suppression and they're going to engineer. But I got to ask you something. Politically speaking, what do you think got more traction with neighborhoods? The idea of rearranging streets all around the city and at key intersections that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, or just putting in a speed bump on your street? Which do you think the voter will remember come Election Day?
Good news for anyone planning a road trip this summer. The national average for a gallon of regular gas now $3.21. That's 23 cents cheaper than this time a year ago, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And low prices at the gas pump, a major reason why inflation has been kept in check. Meantime, the Dutch oil giant Shell denying reports it's in merger talks with British-based rival BP. But after 2 days in a row of massive losses, oil was up 1% today, closed at around $65 a barrel. As for stocks, they were mostly lower, not by much, even though the Israeli-Iranian ceasefire appears to be holding. The Dow lost 107, the Nasdaq up 61, the S&P was flat. Shares of the struggling dating app Bumble up 25% after saying it's laying off a third of its staff, 240 workers. It'll reinvest most of those savings in new technology. And Taco Bell customers can now pay for their burritos on the Taco Bell app and website using PayPal and Venmo. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, and because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You pledged your life to serve, to make our country stronger, safer, more free, more equal. You worked tirelessly, made sacrifices, missed first steps and birthdays, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the setbacks endured. We see lessons applied and passion driving you upward and forward. We don't see all the masks you wear, but we hope you can set some aside. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your past, your fears, or your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see hope, a path forward, a future. We see all veterans. We see you. An opportunity to help you achieve a new mission, whatever that may be. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit MakeTheConnection.
Wesley had IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Coming after my house, my car. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
Wesley called Optima Tax Relief.
Oh, they were great people. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-298-3904. 800-298-3904. Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You deserve to know the news when it's happening. That's why we're broadcasting live from the Bay Area 24/7. Count on the Bay Area's #1 news station. All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS and KCBSradio.com.
KCBS News Time is 8:58. Let's head over to San Francisco.
Yeah, everybody here, get the radio station. Keep a very close eye on the end of this Valkyries game. It is really close. They're fourth quarter. When it gets out, traffic's going to get slow as you get onto the Bay Bridge. All quiet right now, though. I don't see any big backups out of Mission Bay, getting on to eastbound 80. Westbound 80, though, if you're headed from Oakland to San Francisco, slow down. The metering lights are on at the Bay Bridge. Westbound 80 slow, approaching Yerba Buena Island. 580 west is also tough. Not on the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. No, this is getting into Castro Valley. Westbound 580 backed up from the top of the grade there. The Dublin grade is what some people call it. And 580 west stays slow, getting to Redwood Road. A backup is forming on 680 northbound Fremont. Slowdowns there start near Durham. They clear up pretty quickly as you head past Mission Boulevard North. Your next update at 9:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Thanks, Tiffany. The clouds and the fog return tonight to the coast and the bay. We'll have lows in the 50s and then more sunshine and a little bit warmer tomorrow. 60s at the coast to the upper 80s inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. It's Wednesday, June the 25th, 2025. Coming up on KCBS.
I'm Megan Goldsby at Chase Center, where it's another seat packer, this time against the stars of the WNBA.
I'm Shannon Golden. This Oakland woman has been missing for months. As law enforcement continue their investigation, her family has a plea to the public.
And Kilmar Abrego Garcia to stay in jail for now. I'm Elisa Clancy. CBS News covers our world. Coming up next. When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Odyssey Station. 9 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. President Trump says the U.S. and Iran will talk next week about Iran's nuclear program, which the U.S. is trying to eliminate. Meanwhile, CBS's Nancy Cordes at the White House says there's still disagreement about the effect of the American attacks on Iran's nuclear sites.
On one hand, the president is saying it's too early to know. This defense assessment is incomplete. And then on the other hand, he is saying with complete certainty that the facilities were obliterated, destroyed. The White House also touting some Israeli intelligence that indicates that the damage may have been more severe than what this preliminary assessment.
Millions of people have been sweltering the past few days, among them Miriam Summerford of Astoria, Queens.
I used to worship the heat back in the day, years ago, when I would tan for the beach and just lay out there and absorb the sun. For right now, I take care of my skin because it's very damaging.
CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson says relief is in sight.
The good news is this is it. There will be no more records tomorrow. Today is the final day of the heat wave.
A lifeguard out in the heat was impaled by a beach umbrella. CBS's Matt Piper has that.
A Jersey Shore lifeguard is recovering at the hospital after being struck by an umbrella. The object went through her shoulder area and out the other side. It happened in Asbury Park, where officials say the 6-foot umbrella stake was sticking out of both sides of her shoulder. The Asbury Park Press says the guard, in between her freshman and sophomore year of college, was setting up her umbrella when the wind took it and sent it through her shoulder.
A vaccine panel named by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will take some important votes, says CBS's Elaine Quijano.
The panel is expected to vote on whether to recommend RSV immunization for infants. They're also scheduled to vote on whether to recommend the flu vaccine. And specifically, they plan to discuss a preservative that is no longer widely used in flu shots.
Kennedy replaced the preceding CDC advisory committee despite promising lawmakers he wouldn't. Kennedy spread misinformation about vaccines for years. The suspect in a terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, will be tried on 12 federal hate crimes counts. Mohammed Solomon is accused of attacking members of the group Run for Their Lives with Molotov cocktails on June 1st. More from CBS's Jake Rosen.
Officials said in the unsealed indictment Wednesday that a handwritten note was found in Solomon's car in which he called Zionism one of his enemies until Jerusalem is liberated and Jews are expelled from his land, and described Israel as a, quote, cancer entity.
15 people and a dog were injured in that attack. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's 9:03 at the Bay Area's news station, KCBS. The fog and clouds are back tonight, coast and bay, but they'll be quicker to depart tomorrow, leaving more sunshine and warmer temperatures, 60s to the upper 80s. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Elisa Clancy, and here's what's happening at this hour. Over a dozen friends and family of a missing Oakland woman gathered at the city's police headquarters today to ask for the public's help. KCBS's Shannon Golden reports Oakland police are working with the FBI on the case. which they believe involves human trafficking.
20-year-old Heaven Desiree McGee, described as a 5-foot-tall black woman, went missing on January 17, 2025. Her mother, Tanisha, says leaving her family is something McGee would never do.
She loves cooking. She loves spending time with her friends. This is not becoming of her.
On January 20th, she was spotted in a commercial corridor in Stockton. Lead FBI special agent in charge, Sanjay Bermani, says they believe human trafficking may explain why she was there.
Human trafficking is a brutal crime. It preys on the most vulnerable.
Acting Deputy Chief Nicholas Kalange says they've conducted multiple searches, not just in Oakland, but in Solano County and San Joaquin County.
Both locations that we believe Heaven may have specifically been at during the time frame.
He encourages anyone with information regarding McGee's whereabouts in those areas to report it. OPD is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading directly to her location.
Me and the rest of the family will be highly appreciative of the person who leads me to my daughter's whereabouts.
In Oakland, Shannon Golden, KCBS.
The Valkyries sold out their first 7 home games, and that arena was packed again tonight as they faced off against the reigning champions, the New York Liberty. KCBS's Megan Goldsby reported from outside Chase.
Mary came down from Brookings, Oregon, meeting a friend from Santa Barbara here in San Francisco to see the game. I asked what she was most excited about.
This new team, because there's so much support. They're selling out. It's a brand new team. That's pretty exciting, I think.
Selling out 7 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, for this reason, because we're coming from hundreds of miles away for this reason, so congrats to them. That's awesome.
So the excitement has already been high here, and honestly, it's high every time I cover the Valkyries. Fan Felisa, who lives in the East Bay, says she was originally a New York Liberty fan. She's from there and has been going to the games since the 90s, but today she said she's cheering for the Valkyries. Being a fan for so long, I asked her what has changed in the league.
There's a lot more players that are really good players. It's not like it used to be where it was slow and sometimes you had to really kind of get into it. It's a lot faster. It's comparable, if not better than the boys, because they're more fundamentalist.
Adding to the excitement, it's a homecoming for New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu, who's originally from Walnut Creek. At Chase Center, Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
Yeah, and it was a great game right up to the end, but the New York Liberty pulled it off 81-78. In yet another crackdown on homelessness, Sacramento mayor is pushing to ban sleeping at City Hall. Just 6 years after his predecessor allowed sleeping there at night, but not during the day. As KCBS reporter Holly Kwan tells us, this is just the latest push by municipal governments to turn up the heat on homelessness.
Sacramento Mayor Kevin McCarty says his proposal is in line with other bans outside of state or federal buildings and reflects the city's shifting approach to homelessness. The same could be said for San Jose, which is in its second week of encampment sweeps on the Guadalupe River. San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan is looking to arrest people who repeatedly refuse shelter. And in San Francisco, transportation officials last week approved Mayor Daniel Lurie's plan to ban RV parking for longer than 2 hours. Jennifer Friedenbach is head of the Coalition on Homelessness. She says RV dwellers aren't hurting anyone.
It's a lot of different folks. It's seniors, people with disabilities, working people, students, families with kids, pretty much runs the gamut. A lot of folks who, have spent their whole life in San Francisco that were priced out. A lot of people that are critical to our economy in terms of workers.
The idea is to get people into more stable shelter. The parking ban still needs approval from the Board of Supervisors and wouldn't likely take effect until fall. Holly Kwan, KCBS.
The new state